All right, check, check, 3, 2, 1. Let's see if we're working here. I guess it is. All right, I'm back for a little bit. Uh, just real quick. This is a video really for my alliance. I haven't really done any any kind of YouTube content in a little while. I did some streaming a few months back. I'm trying to really wait for my setup to be like you can see. I still don't have a green screen. I want to get a new apartment so I can move in, have the room set up, and all that other stuff. But it is what it is. Basically, a alliance mate has a roster that he doesn't know what to do with yet. It seems as though he's early game. He's like level 89, and he's asking like, "What should I do? Where should my rosters be?" And let me take these off. Cool. All right. Anyway, so what I said I was gonna do was like I'm gonna go through my roster and his roster a little bit. Um, Honestly, and I don't think if I do this it'll show anything because I don't want to show like his information. But he sent me the pictures of his roster, and maybe I can go ahead. Smart me should have set this up earlier, but I'm out of practice. I hadn't done this in a while. So let's just download all the images from his roster now. And truth be told, I'm gonna give him specific stuff, but the stuff I'm gonna say now is gonna be like general. And I don't even want to act like I am the genius behind all this stuff. I will be frank. A lot of the information that I've learned over the last like couple of months, well, 6 months, maybe even more, for Marvel Strike Force has been from Dorky Dad has been my main source, but Dorky Dad, Valley Flying, Mobile Gamer, I'm Dasir, Updog, like I'm probably gonna forget, but there's a lot of content. Doolum, there's a lot of content creators I watch, and all for different reasons. They have different specialties, different like lanes that they stick in, and like I said, amalgamation of their knowledge that has helped me progress in the game a lot. So the first bit of advice that I would give is gonna be like, well, one, I'm not really gonna go into overpower except for the fact that I did it and it makes me feel gross. What did I do? I went into arena, and right before, I think it was Monday, there Dorky Dad did this calculation, and I think as part of what they're trying to do to get us to spend more money is that we're not getting nearly as many gear tier 20 pieces as we did the previous week. I'm not going to go into all that because I'm not going to take off his content. He did a full video on it. If you want to check it out, go to it. He does the math, and it's like, oh wow, that's crazy. But I did get impatient. So what I did do was I took my Odin gear tier 20. And the main reason for that was actually because I was like a couple pieces away. I just needed a couple to get him there. And it wasn't showing up. I wasn't getting X coins. I didn't even realize they stopped giving out X coins because that store is going to close. And typically like 7 days before they close a store, they stop giving you the currency because the idea is we don't want you to have 50,000 in this currency. The store disappears. Now you're complaining. So now you know you're not getting any more of this new currency. Buy what you can out of the store in the last 7 days, and then it's done. But yeah, so I got impatient because I wasn't seeing the gear piece. I didn't have any more X coins, so I bought a deal. Took him gear tier 20. It makes me feel gross because after I did that, like the actual change in his power was like palpable. I already had in-game Thanos gear to 20. He's on my defense now. But when I use Odin in arena, he is a sledgehammer now. I think I've been like at level 8, but I'm pretty sure when people see my defense, just because of the gear, I have gear tier 20 in game, but gear tier 20 Odin is the thing that I think has my defense set to where I'm not going to fall below a certain level. Because if you don't have, there's someone in my arena that does have a gear tier 20, go with the special here so we can heal up, that has a gear tier 20 null, and that person is beating me. And I wish this was like Crucible or War, where I don't know if you can see the battles in War, but where you can go back and look at the battles and see what happens and see what went down to make you lose. I guess it's just not possible. I would love to see that because I want to know like how that worked itself out. Did they barely win? Did they win easily? Now here comes the part where it gets gross. When they take a turn, watch how much damage a gear tier 20 Odin does to them. It's gross. And after I bought it, it worked. So look at that. Look, that's I benefit from this greatly. I don't have to necessarily think as hard right now. And he is slow. That's a gear tier 19 Odin. It's not like he's a slacker. And he doesn't matter. He does not matter. That guy's at the top of my arena. His Odin doesn't matter if it's not gear tier 20. And that's part of the reason why I got it, because I was like, okay, I want to stay in the top. I want to keep these power cores. For newer players, arena is, to me, the mode where you should focus on your teams the most. And this is going to get into Amadeus, I guess is how I'm supposed to say your name. Apologies if I'm saying it wrong. This is where I'm getting into the advice about your roster, right? The first team that I worry about is the strongest team for arena, because I get power cores for being in arena, right? So I want to be number one, but if I'm in top 5, top 10 actually, I get 500 power cores, 500 a day, easy, 3,500 in a week. So what, 14,000 in a month. That's a lot of stuff that you can do, whether you like to core for characters or like me, I tend to, and I know it sounds stupid, in those newer stores, I tend to do refreshes just so I can get the newer. That's why I ran out of X coins so much, because I was getting those red pieces. Every time there was a 50, I would refresh it twice, buy all the pieces, and then, keep it pushing. Also, if you want to replenish your campaign energy, because I don't know how these guys do it. I'm really bad at hoarding campaign energy. I don't even know how they get to like 20,000 campaign energy. I really don't. Maybe it's a money thing. I'm not spending that much money. Typically, I buy the strike and the battle pass, and I don't think I'm even going to buy the battle pass this next one. I bought the strike pass because of Daredevil Modern, and I'm kind of regretting that. Anyway, so when it comes to like your roster, and let me go ahead and get here. I'm going to go to squads, basically. Part of the problem that you're going to face as a beginning player is that you're going to hop in and you're going to see a lot of characters that you love from the comic books. And a lot of those characters have old stats. What does old stats mean? When Ares came out, they changed the way that the stats were calculated. They changed the math, whatever. All you need to know is that there's a big jump between in power and everything, power, resistance, whatever, between characters that came out after Ares and characters that came out before. So when you see, and let me go down here, actually, this Vigilante team was like the perfect showcase for that. So let me go back and I'll just go to the Vigilante team just for this example, right? Vigilante team is one of the teams I would say if you are a newer player, mid-game player, and you're trying to figure out what to do, work on the team or the characters that build your arena team first, because that's where you're going to get those resources. And then the next thing you should be doing is working on the most recent characters. So, Daredevil Modern, he is a 4 red star that I have right now. Not going to be the most powerful one. I can get more stars on, let's say, who's farmable? Dagger. That's a random one. And I just think about it because you can get fragments for training orbs there. Let's say Dagger's my favorite character. She is pre-Ares stats. Now, when she gets a rework, like Elektra and like Punisher in this picture, then her stats will be brought back up to the level of where they are now post-Ares. So long as she has pre-Ares stats, she's not going to be as useful as you progress through the game. That's one. 2, the newer characters, the Vigilantes, the Thunderbolts, the Liberty, the Astrals, are going to be more integrated into current content than the older characters. So for Kiln Tower, for example, was it Kiln? Kiln was way back, but Kiln was, I think, Absolute A-Force. Absolute A-Force was more important to have because in Kiln Tower, where I'm going to get a bunch of resources, you could have 3 members of Absolute A-Force. I might be saying this all wrong in terms of like the actual teams and the numbers, but I do remember that that's what it was. There was an event, there was a Kiln Tower. That Kiln Tower was to get red stars for Phoenix Force Omega Red. They had a gate to where you needed to have Absolute A-Force at like gear tier 19 was the recommendation or whatever. They were the newer tunes at the time. So if I wanted to be able to progress on this next character that's coming up, Omega Red Phoenix Force, who's supposed to be this amazing character, I need to have the newer characters at a certain level, even if they are 3, 4, 5 stars. That means that if I'm trying to progress in that way, me going back and working on, name a team, Underworld. Underworld is kind of a bad example because of Taskmaster right now. Infestation. All right. Me going back and working on a team like Infestation, even though I love big time Spider-Man, isn't going to be as beneficial as working on Absolute A-Force, because then once I'm done with Infestation, I can farm them in everything. I have their frags. I can get them up to 7 star. You can use them in War, and there's no other game mode really, not even Cosmic Crucible, where you're going to be able to use them or the characters individually. Not Arena, not Cosmic Crucible. I mean, in War they're still good, but barely in War, and who really plays War like that? So it makes more sense for me to level up the newer tunes, because the content, the raids, the Crucible, the Arena, everything is going to be shifted by the new tunes. Null is new, relatively new. Let's just say relatively new, right? Null is relatively new. He comes out from Battle World. We finally get the frags from him. He shifts the entire Arena meta. Big time, right? Then they figure out, oh, Emma Frost, X-Men, the newer Emma Frost. We can put her on a team with XYZ, and then this counteracts Odin and does this, that, and the third. Okay, cool. Emma Frost is from Astral. Astral came out not super long ago. They're post-Ares. She has the newer stats, survives longer, hits harder, but regardless of all that, her mechanics are more in line with what the meta is going to be now. So, first tidbit is, and again, I'm taking this from others, you have to either, you can look back a little bit, but you can't look back, you should not look back pre-Ares unless you are approaching mid-game, end-game, and there's certain characters that you're pulling out because you want to develop, making an amalgamation team. Like some of my Cosmic Crucible teams, I would even say. Although I do keep them keep them together when it goes like that. Okay, this team here, where you have Emma Frost, Spider Weaver, Odin, and then Phoenix Force. Spider Weaver's an old stats tune, but she has a very big use in Crucible, which people could say is diminishing, but when she has 5 charges, then the enemy team loses accuracy by 100%. Now, part of that is kind of worked out of the game because a lot of tunes now have unavoidable attacks, but you see my point. Older stat tune still has utility, not even because of, she does have a stun, which is actually kind of nice if you can land it, but like her older stats aren't going to let her keep up with the newer tunes. Outside of this one specialty that I can use her in, I can pair her with a pre-taunt. Hope she's pretty fast. Hopefully I can get those 5 charges up in Crucible before the team takes any kind of devastating turns. And then hopefully the other team doesn't have a bunch of characters that do unavoidable attacks. So that way we're getting missed and we're not taking the damage. Very, very niche situation. So your resources shouldn't really be going into characters that you're going to use once a week. Like I'm using that. I don't remember the last time I used that team, but like let's say I use it once a week in Crucible. You need the tunes who are going to be more useful all over the place, and that's where you're going to spend your resources. So you get more resources, so you can get more tunes and expand your roster. So basically, let's go down the list here. Let me go back to, this is like squads for war that I have. Let's go here, right? So first tip, basically stick with the newer tunes. So Starjammers, despite the fact that they're not great and there's like differing opinions on it, I don't find them to be great. I think Havoc's good. I think Lilandra is okay. Howard the Duck never works the way I want him to, and maybe that's a me thing, but it is what it is. Yeah, do the Crucible stuff. Immortal X-Men, they are very good. Storm is amazing. She's slow, but when she hits, she wipes. So, and the team itself does very well for me in Crucible. I do like it, but they have a very niche, specific place. Illuminati is an old stats team. They went really well with Odin for a very long time. They're starting to fall off. They're not even on my war defense anymore. Or maybe they are on my war defense, or not war, Crucible defense, just because they're in a throwaway room. Cabal, who used to be beast in Cosmic Crucible, Still a good team. I wouldn't develop them right now though if you're first starting out. Like again, focus on the newer stat tunes. Superior Six for some reason can do very well in certain situations, but this is one of those where overpower comes into play. They used to be fine for me clearing out a Spider Society or whatever other teams. Now I didn't put any other resources into Doc Ock or Slayer, and Slayer isn't even the one for that team. I use Vulture on that team, and he is overpower 9. I wouldn't recommend starting out working on them. Eventually, when you're getting more niche and having to solve like more intricate puzzles of it's not just this team versus that team. It's like, oh, they've set up a Mephisto over there with the do not use Superior Six on Mephisto. They've used like a Mephisto and this, that, and the third. I'm going to break up this team and do this. I'm going to break up this team and do that. Or this one specific team will get me past this point. Until you reach those stages, you need to focus on full teams. Everything else here is pre-Ares stats. Like, for example, New Warriors. From what I understand, they're good in one thing, and I've seen them do the one thing. It is when you've attacked an Odin team, namely Illuminati, and you've gotten the entire team down except for Odin. The only thing you have left to kill in that room in Crucible is Odin. You can take the New Warriors in and do it, so long as he doesn't get fully healed, and then they get wiped out. So that's so niche. Why would you should not invest in that unless you get to that point? War. This is the other part of it. So I say arena is like that thing that you should like focus on. However, war can be something that people like. War is a bit of a task to me. I'm trying to get better at it, but it's hard for me to care because it takes a lot of time for me to do that. Let me check this real quick. Just to see where I'm at. Sorry, but I just saw him days. He's like, I'm trying to do DMV appointments. I'm sorry, I hurt for you. I live in Switzerland now, but I'm from the US, born and raised, and moved here when I was 23. So like, I feel your pain trying to be in the DMV, homie. We're praying for you. All right. So anyway, so yeah, Liberty. Well, no, not Liberty. War teams. They do tend to last the longest, from what I understand, from what like Valley Flying and Dorky Dad say. If you like that game mode, let's say you settled up your arena team, and now you're trying to figure out if you want to work on a team for War or Crucible. Pick the team pick the game mode that you like the most, and then work on those teams. Have fun, like just have fun. However, I will say, War stretches the out of your roster, right? Like you need 10 on defense, and then you need to have 10 like good characters or good teams on offense. So you need 20 teams, which and this will probably be the other thing too. Maybe you should lean towards Crucible. Which when it gets to trying to set up your defenses and then fighting on offense as well, this is kind of a resource suck because this is going to kind of force you into doing older teams. Unless you have access to the to the newer team frags, depending on if you get them from orbs or if you're farming or whatever. So I might even recommend, and the resources from Cosmic Crucible are better to me. I want those more than I do from War. I would recommend focusing on Crucible over War. However, if you like War, who gives a damn what I got to say? Enjoy yourself. As far as War is concerned, a lot of the War teams can be used in Crucible. So, for example, Liberty might be the best team in the game right now. I need to go ahead and take, and this is it, Overpower is working. That it's working. I need to take up War Machine and Patriot to Overpower 10. The rest of the team is at 10, and I did that for another event where I needed those 3 characters. I cannot remember the tower mode now, so I'm not even gonna try. But it's kind of pushing me in the position of if I want to use this team in Crucible as well, which they are good in Crucible. They are the best War team right now. They are good in Crucible. That I'm gonna need to go ahead and boost those 2 to Overpower 10. Overpower sucks. Then you have Mighty Avengers. I don't have them really developed, as you can tell. Hercules, I'm not a big fan of. He hasn't really done much for me. Invisible Woman, let me down when I first started in the game, so I'm kind of like holding it against her. I'm bitter. I admit it. Whatever. I love Falcon. I love Falcon, but he is squishy as all get out. But if you can get him going, he will speed up your team. So I wouldn't even. I mean, Mighty Avengers. Some people have some good things to say about it. I don't. Absolute A Force. I love Gohori. I feel like she has a lot of counters now. A lot of people figured out a way to get around her. I had to take up Wasp and Ironheart because if I'm going to use this full team in war as much as I would like to, they were overpower 6. They're overpower 9 now. It's going to be, I'm not going to take them overpower 10. I don't want to take, let's be real about Liberty. I don't want to take War Machine overpower 10, and I may not. I may just do Patriot because War Machine, though he's good and his rework is okay, he deals a lot of damage, he's still an older tune. So I'm going to focus on Patriot, Falcon, and Peggy Carter. They're overpower 10. One day they'll be overpower 11, I guess, to do the Professor X thing. But damn, overpower makes you think about other stuff in other ways. This is why I don't want to spend in the game anymore. I don't want to be forced into this crap. Anyway, doesn't matter. They don't care what I think. With Absolute A Force, you have the 3 newer tunes. I'm fine with taking Medusa up to 105. I don't even want to say the word overpowered anymore. I'm fine with taking Medusa up to 105. Wasp apparently does a ton of damage, and then Ironheart's kind of there, right? So if I had to choose, Ironheart's going to be the one to miss, but I'm leaning against taking Wasp up to 105 as well. Then you have your Undying. They're a fun war team. As you can tell, they're all overpower 6. And that's the other thing too. My alliance isn't some super big, gross size alliance. We're casual, having fun type of alliance. So I'm not under pressure from others to like develop these teams if I don't want to. A lot of times what I will do, because my roster is pretty big, is wait for the rest of, versus the others on my team, they're newer, in my alliance, is I'll wait for them to do as much war as they can. What time is it now that I mention it? I need to double check Arena to be sure that I'm still number 1. And then whatever they have left over or whatever room is like closed, only has one side, I'll go in and wipe it out. Like I remember specifically like last week, there was a fun war because I ran into a room where a guy had basically rosters that would rival mine. It's rare for me, given like I'm not gonna be super serious about it, but I've been playing for a while and put money into it. So like my roster doesn't necessarily still have the same requirements or the same limitations versus my alliances and who we're facing, right? So it's a little bit different for me. I'm not about to develop Undying just yet. They're not even like, they don't even have a 5th member yet. I usually put Dormammu in there. I don't even know if that's smart. I just know he revives. Mercs for Money is still a good war team for me. I like them a lot. Out of Time is not good, but Black Knight is a beast. If he's someone that you're trying to develop, and this is lower levels arena, so I'm assuming you guys don't have an Odin floating around in your arena. I'm assuming you don't have a Mephisto, and this is assuming directly for Amadeus. I'm assuming you don't have an Odin in your arena. I'm assuming you don't have a Mephisto in your arena. You might have a Null in there, actually, based on Battle World. You might have a Null running around in there. So you're going to see, and honestly, I would be very curious to see, you're going to be running into different teams than what you saw on mine, I'm assuming. And I want to know what those teams look like what those people are developing, because this is like, I'm on the higher end of arena. I want to know for those newer players what they're running into. Apparently, New Avengers is still good. I'm not doing anything with them right now. I already mentioned Infestation. Underworld is going to get a little bit of a boost because Taskmaster is being reworked for Thunderbolts. So there's that. Gamma's still kind of okay in War, and you're going to need Gamma for the Age of Apocalypse if you haven't gotten him yet. I'm wondering if in your arena, does anybody... In fact, I downloaded your rosters real quick. So let me see if... I think you might have already had Apocalypse. Who knows? Let's check this out real quick. Boop, 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 boop. So there's 1, 2, boop. All right, so you have in-game Thanos. Let's see. Can I get this to... zoom in. You know what? Let's add a window real quick. Nobody's watching this anyway. So I don't have to be too terribly concerned. Oh, XG boost machine learning. That is something I'm not doing right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab this. Where are you? Oh, there we go, screenshot. All right, so we'll make that visible. So this is the roster right now as he has it, okay? Or part of it. This isn't his entire roster, okay? I would like to make it a little bit bigger. Can we zoom in on this bad boy? I don't think we can. All right, so we'll go back up here and we'll zoom in the manual way. Oh, I've moved everything. Oh no, you guys are seeing behind the scenes and it's terrible. All right, so basically, let's see if this is showing up behind me the way it should on stream. No, it's not. Haha. All right, so basically, Silver Surfer, stop developing him immediately. Annihilators is good, they're fun, but you need to focus on Endgame Thanos, Gladiator, Gore. Those are the three, they're the three newer tunes. Ultimus has his uses versus taunters. Silver Surfer is usually the first one dropped off the team. And quick, like fast. And then the next is Ultimus. These three characters are still pretty legit. I still actually use them in my arena. I think you saw that. Let me double check. Oh wait, no. I have been for the longest time. Let me double check my thing. I have Gladiator and Thanos and Gore. No. All three of them are on offense or on defense right now. With what do I have? Oh no, I do have Null and I have Odin. Okay, cool. Might want to change that later. Anyway, Dokken, as much as I've heard good things, I've never been able to get him to work that much. Older stat tune. Like, it's kind of a waste for you at this stage if you're this early on. This is the top of your roster, right? Scientist Supreme, though she's an older stat, but actually newer stats because she's reworked. She's actually one of the more valuable pieces in Orcus. Nimrod, Omega Sentinel, all good. But if you're going to do Orcus, be sure to get Lady Deathstrike up to their level. Get Lady Deathstrike up to their level as soon as possible because Lady Deathstrike is an amazing damage dealer. She mixes and matches. She's on the SNF team for Crucible when you get to that point. I can't say what the real name of that team is because I'm trying to keep this channel PG. But yeah, she's an amazing damage dealer, so I would definitely put resources into her. We're skipping Dokken. Medusa is a pretty good damage dealer, but she's a newer stats tune. So versus all these other ones that we're naming, her, do work on her. Big Time Spider-Man, you can go ahead and leave him alone for now. Panda Pool. Until you have Old Man Logan, the last time I checked, you said you didn't. Working on any of the mercs for money doesn't make sense, and it's still even less sense since they're older stat tunes. Like this is a mid. I don't even know if they're still going to be relevant when you hit the mid game in a few months. So no. Deathpool, she looks cool. No. Invisible Woman, she's new stats, so she's probably going to help you a bit. So that's all right. Phoenix, good. Not great, in my view. Mr. Sinister, stop that now. He's useless. Dr. Doom, you kind of have to for certain things, but if I was able to advise you before this, I'd have told you to stop that. Gamora, stop immediately. Please stop that. Any Black Order members. That was one of my mistakes. You can see one of my earlier videos when I thought Black Order was awesome. They just got a rework. I was wrong. Cersei and Icarus do definitely have their uses, especially as older stat tunes. Icarus, he can, flip buffs into debuffs, and then that attack, that AoE attack is devastating. I'm sure it's still good in the game at the lower levels. Black Bolt, he's with Illuminati. Illuminati's still older stats. He does have a permakill on his little burps. Maybe I could understand it, but there's better things you could be working on. Venom, no thank you. Anybody on this row, I use Thanos. This Thanos here, not the in-game Thanos. I tried to use him in a Cosmic Crucible comp just to be like, I'm gonna try this. Like it, and it worked. It worked, but that was such a niche, special, more so than Spider Weaver. I did it like 3 times and haven't done it since. In like the last, I don't know how many months. No, homie, leave him. Anti Venom, stop that now. Yeah, Black Order member, stop that now. Stop that now. Stop that now. Hella, I kind of get for the Undying, and Undying, despite the fact that they're old stats, they aren't necessarily stat dependent as a team, so it's okay. Anything Hive Mind, stop that now, except for maybe Void Knight, and that's still kind of a niche thing. Doc Ock does have his uses, stop that now. Taskmaster, yes, he just got a rework. So yes, Kestrel, despite being old stats, she does have a lot of uses, especially with those characters that are going to summon, right? So you can use Kestrel. Oh no, we lost everything. I got to start all over. Lies you tell. Yeah, so I was talking about Kestrel. Where you at, lady? Oh my goodness, I can't even like scroll right now. Am I that tired after work? I can't even scroll, guys. Let me scroll, please. All right, so Kestrel. And double check that everything's all right. So Kestrel. Kestrel does this thing of where if anybody tries to summon anything, she shoots them before they can. So she stops summons. That is remarkably useful when you're dealing against the Orcus team. If you have Night Stalkers with Kestrel, she will just clip all of the Sentinel bots that the Sentinel is trying to summon. Every time they come up, they don't make it. Also does the same thing with Phoenix. So Phoenix, when she dies and becomes Dark Phoenix, that's a summon, not a revive. So if you have Kestrel on the team and you kill Phoenix, she will stop the summon from Phoenix. Kestrel will stop the summon from Phoenix. Actually, lower level, if you're running into like Nick Furies or Kingpins or what is it, Red Skull also, Maria Hill, you might be running into this in the war. It should not be in any of the game modes. But then if you're trying to play offense with Kestrel, you can drop her in there for those others to stop those guys from being summoned. So she does that one use of hers plus that not the AoE, her ultimate attack, still pretty damn good. Emma Frost is not a bad investment, just like Doc Ock isn't. But she's so niche in her uses that I would say like just pause that for a minute. Stop doing that with Sabretooth. War Machine is only okay because you can farm him and he has newer stats. So yeah, from that perspective, you can develop him. Go ahead. Falcon, same deal, although Falcon is better than War Machine by a lot. So that's a good investment. Next. Hopefully this helps. I don't know. And honestly, I need to get faster because I'm going to talk for hours. Ghost, good. Now she's getting a rework. Beast, not necessarily a good tune, but good for you because he has new stats. Loki, stop that now. Punisher, good. Work on Punisher as much as you can, actually. He's a great damage dealer. Plus Vigilante, so like they've got some stuff coming through for raids. So Vigilante team. Elektra as well, which Elektra is crap on my side of the game, but on your side, she's probably still good because of the stats. Thor, stop that thing, stop that. Doctor Strange, do that more. A lot more Doctor Strange. He's amazing. Rescue, stop that. Maria Hill, stop that. Cyclops, stop that. Yeah, Cyclops, stop that. Ant-Man, everybody down here on this row. Stop that. Cap, Iron Man. Hank Pym does have his uses along with Illuminati. Illuminati might be the exception to the rule of the old stats, but at the time that you have now, there's newer stat tunes that you could work on that would be more beneficial than Illuminati, in my view, in my humble opinion. Same with Mr. Fantastic, although Hank Pym is more valuable than Mr. Fantastic by a lot. Red Guardian, stop that. Human Torch might be getting a rework soon, so pause that and see what they do with him. Wasp, amazing damage dealer, new stats, go ahead. Scarlet Witch, very niche. Damn. Because now, okay, I say this because of Black Panther Shuri and Hank Pym. They are older stat tunes that have tremendous uses. However, I do not know if where you are in the game right now, you will be able to benefit from those uses that much. because you're not going to be able just to take them up to level 100. You're at level 89 now as is. So pause Illuminati. Rocket, Groot, because they're reworks and they have new stats. And you can use them in Crucible. Lilandra, you need for Professor X. You should have gotten. Why didn't you get any more for? You must have joined Marvel Strike Force very recently, because you should have a 7-star by now. Or maybe you're still going through the event, but I thought the event ended this week, because I had a 7-star for a while. 7 red star, and they're doing that new release system for the legendary, so you'll benefit from that a lot. Wolverine, stop that, and I love Wolverine. Stop. Namor, good with Cabal. Cabal is in that same kind of thing with Illuminati, where it's like, yeah, they got their uses and they're still kind of good, and you can fit them in certain scenarios. But Colossus, stop. I swear for Lord, this thing is going to drive me up a wall. Just grab in the middle, Obi. All right, Storm, yes, do this more. Minerva, I heard she's a pretty good revive. I don't have any personal experience with her, so I can't call it. Actually, let me be sure of one other thing too, since that happened. Yeah, okay, we're good. We're gooch. G. Star-Lord, new, stop. Hulk, stop. Captain Marvel, stop. All these people, stop. I guess. Yeah, no, there's no. I don't know why I'm hesitant. There's no exceptions there. Now, starting from the top, none of them. And yes, I do love Spider-Man. Cable did have a rework, and he does go with Immortal X-Men. His rewind on his A2, I like a lot. He also gives your team a 5% speed boost in the beginning. Your turn meter. Everybody else know. Mysterio is part of that whole Superior 6, so is Deadpool. Liberty, Superior 6, and he's not part of Superior 6, he's part of Sinister 6, but he can be mixed well with Superior 6. Yeah, the Deadpool, Submerged for Money, Superior 6, Illuminati, Cabal. Those are the first, I won't say first niche teams, but those are the first teams where you're like, okay, my roster's where it needs to be right now. I can reach back a little bit. None of them Elektra, as much as it hurts. I mean, you're going to get more frags. She just got reworked. She has newer stats for you. I took her to level 100. I haven't gotten her last piece yet to get her gear tier 19. And as soon as I did that, everything I heard was like, don't do it. She sucks. Like, well, great. Information that would have been useful yesterday, to quote one of my favorite movies. If you can name that movie, you're my best friend. None of these people. Ironheart, maybe a little bit. You can complete your absolute A force. Like that's Vulture is amazing. He really is. Iron Patriot is part of that Cabal team too. But again, these are the ones that you reach back for when you feel like your roster's in a good place with the newer stat tunes. Yeah, that's them. Yeah, once you start to get down to the other ones, like it goes quick. Let's see. We have Polaris, part of that Immortal X-Men team. Do work on her. Everybody else in this row, stop it. Everybody in the next row, stop it. Everybody in the next row, stop it. Bishop through Graviton, stop it. Toad through Okoye, stop it. Squirrel Girl to okay. Moon Knight is the worst member of the Night Stalkers, and Night Stalkers is an amazing team. They are really, really good. So for the time being, since you won't be able to mix and match, proceed with caution with Moon Knight. Same thing with Vision. He's part of the Mighty Avengers. So I don't know how great he is. He is part of that Wanda's Revenge team, which is it's an amalgamation of different characters that you can use in Crucible. It's Scarlet Witch, Invisible Woman, Vision's in there. I can't remember the other two. Let's see. Skip everybody. Everybody here too. You asked about Omega Red. I get it. Especially since I'm a child of the 80s, a baby, 80s baby, 90s kid. And X-Men, the original one. Although X-Men 97, or what is it? X-Men 20? Yeah, X-Men 97. Awesome. When is season 2 coming? But yeah, as much as I love him and that whole Colossus fight and Storms, all that stuff, stop. All stat tune. I know. I know. Cool character. I know. I know. But not right now. You have other things that would be a better use of your resources. Now here's where we're getting to some of the oh no's, oh no's. So no, 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 none of it, none of it, none of it. Zugs, part of the Undying thing, same as with those Illuminati or whatever members. Once your roster's secure enough, Moondragon is a beast to me. She's very good. You even have her 5 red stars. I would go ahead because she's also part of a newer team and got to rework Astral. Same with Ancient One. Maybe Ancient One a little bit less. At this point, when you're going to the new stars, look at your teams and then the ones that have more stars, for example. Although that's not necessarily fair. You also need to look at offers and plan a little bit ahead because Daredevil Modern, even though a lot of people in the end game are poo-pooing him, to start off with, you're gonna get a lot more frags of him. You know you are. It's coming up soon. And Strike Pass and other events, you're gonna get more. So you're gonna be able to develop him. So putting more resources into him right now to help you progress, not a bad thing. Captain Sam is farmable, and he is a pretty big beast on the Liberty team. So not a bad idea. I think Moondragon is farmable. Not 100% sure. Hercules, I'm not a huge fan of him, but he is new stats. I would put Mighty Avengers like lower on the list of priorities out of the newer teams. Ancient One, I like her. If you can get more for frags, sure, because the Astral team is beastly. But it looks like you got in right at like the tail end of Astral, and now you have some of their stuff, but we don't know how much you're gonna be able to develop them. Jean Grey, a part of the Immortal X-Men, she's pretty damn good. Emma Frost is amazing, mixes and matches well. If you can get more red stars and more frags, do so. None of them. Blade is amazing. I wish you could get more frags of him if you can, and you can develop him more, sure. But right now it's just 3 yellow, 1 red. So you have other, like, Blade is better than Captain Sam by miles, but your Captain Sam is like 4 red. He's farmable. He's going to be better for you in the short term. Just keep an eye out for Blade, and if you can get more red stars on him, and if you can get more frags on him, sure. Same thing with Ms. Marvel. Guardian is good in niche situations. Don't work on him right now. Let's see. Zombie Iron Man. Patriot. He's part of that Liberty team. Oath is amazing. She pairs well with Blade. They are the 2 best members of that Night Stalkers team. Havoc, he's actually a pretty good plug and play tune. You're gonna get more frags of his. Would not hurt you to put more investment into him. Spider-Man Pav is actually really good. I like him a lot. I can't see where you are, the level you have him at right now, but I do like him. Older stats. I love all the Spider Society older stats. You're not supposed to see that stuff. That's investment stuff. All right, so that is my view on your roster. Wait, hold on. I hope that did that all just, let's see where we at. That's weird that it does it that way. All right, whatever though. So yeah, that is, and then where am I right now? What time is it? Ooh, I never went back and checked my arena. So I might not be number 1. Oh, I'm still 1. Okay, cool. I'm still number 1. I think a large part of that is having a gear tier 20 that people can't beat every single time. And it does feel kind of gross, but that does give me my 500 arena credits and my 5,000 arena credits and 500 frags. Yeah, I think that is it. The other thing I recommended to you that I'll just say here now is, oh no, what's going on in the war? So I set up this diabolical war team because I wasn't paying attention to war that much. And then I realized I had a lot of characters that I just wasn't using. It looks like, did they get down to our cargo bay? I want to know how my war team does. See, they haven't gotten to this side yet. They haven't gotten to the, have they? Because my team is like, oh no, this is where we're attacking. Forgive me, I'm an idiot. All right, here we go. Because I'm down right. Yeah, see, they haven't attacked our bridge, right? And that is where my team is resting. and New Avengers Gamma, but this is like where I'm trying to be a jerk. And actually, yeah. So I have my Astro there at 8 million. I have Annihilators with Mephisto 7.6, Orcus in front, and that's the thing. I've tried to put like two devastating teams at the end with characters that I would use on offense, but I'm gonna use on defense for here, like just full Astro, and then the as I said, Annihilators. You drop Silver Surfer off real fast. Orcus is gonna be a pain for somebody, especially if, and this was the game plan all the way through, and then I'll call it a video. Been talking too much anyway. New Avengers is a good war team. Are they great? I mean, just because of stats. Gamma, same thing. Like you can't just walk in and just find a team that's 2 million and beat them, 3 million and beat them. You got to actually kind of work on it. Same thing with Gamma. The Rogue, Nightcrawler. I did have on offense, but having Rogue overpower 9, having Nightcrawler overpower 10, and dropping them in with Extreme X-Men. Extreme X-Men is a good team, but I don't know if you should go back for that. Then I have Hive Mind with Null. This is supposed to be like, so here's the thing. When you see War, you're going to see the first 4 rooms. And you're going to see that Hive Mind with Null team. Hive Mind and Null go great together. And because we're not some in-game alliance where we're fighting all these massive 6 million per teams, I can drop Null in here and see if it makes somebody stumble. Alpha Flight is surprisingly good in War. I don't know how much longer it's going to last, but on defense, they do pretty well. Then I have my Undying in here with Dormammu. So it's like I'm trying to stretch out the roster of the person's coming up. Then we know Mercs for Money is a good war team. They are good. I feel like, no, I'm going to keep Deadpool over there. Basically, though, the plan is for Pandapool to go ahead and get his taunt, keep it away until Old Man Logan can get his revive up once just to get to his first turn, and then have him murder. Orcus, Sentinels come in overwhelming, but by this point my hope is like that this room 7 and this room 8 have stretched the roster of the opponent to where when they get to my room 10 and my room 9, they're just like, I can't. That's the plan. I want them to have their rosters overextended, so that by the time they get to Beth Ann Land, I am working. So that by the time they get to these 2 rooms, it's like nobody has anything left. Apparently, I got to answer Beth Ann now. So, anyway, and I think my boss just sent me a message. Anyway, so there's that. I hope it was helpful. I'm gonna end this stream now. Thank you guys for watching. This is my old outro when I was doing DC Legends. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, please subscribe. If you don't like it, subscribe and hit dislike. I'm okay with that as well. See you guys next time. I don't know if you're gonna see me next time.